Good morning, welcome to the channel. It's been a week or two since I posted last, but I wanted to give an update and also a little back history on the Viper. The car is scheduled, the water meth kit is done. Okay, the water meth kit is done. I'll shoot a little video about that probably this week. The install is done, it looks great. The car is scheduled to get tuned on Friday. Okay, so expect a video maybe Saturday or Sunday documenting that. We're looking for some good streetable power. You know, when I built this car, I didn't want anything too crazy. You know, I've rode in twin turbo Vipers, you know, making well over 1,000 horsepower. It's just too much for the street. And I see guys, you know, Street Speed 717, you know, Mike's car. You know, you get to that 900, 1,000, 1,100 horsepower, it's just too much for the street, right? And I'm building this car for the street. It's going to see some track time, absolutely. But I want this thing just to be a street monster that I'm not afraid to get in it without the car getting sideways all of a sudden, or just making it too much power that I can't use it, you know. So I bought the Viper when I was in Hawaii, and that was in 2012. I got the car. I bought it, I was on Oahu, but I bought the car on the Big Island. So I flew over, spent the day, I drove it, I got underneath it, I checked it out. It was good to go. So we shipped it up, put it on a shipping freight, sent it over to my island, picked it up. Haven't had any issues. As soon as I got it over there, I put the car on the dyno just to see what kind of power it was making. You know, how the graph looked and everything. Car made good power. Bone stock, the 99 Viper made, I want to say, let's see, I have it here. Car made to the tire 423 horsepower, 476 foot-pounds of torque. That's good power for these motors. You know, you see anywhere from, you know, low 400s, it's common, right? So 4.25, strong motor, right? Those of you who have been to Hawaii, or may not know, there are no drag tracks in Hawaii. There are no race tracks in general. The maximum speed limit is 55. You go anything over, I think, 75, and it's considered a felony right over there. They take that pretty serious. The roads are not very good, and there's a ton of traffic, okay, a lot of the time. So needless to say, I didn't spend too much time driving the car in Hawaii. I took care of it the best I could, you know, but it wasn't until I moved back to the mainland that I really had some opportunities to enjoy the car. So basically, as soon as I got to the mainland, that's when I started modifying the car. And I'll make another video of every little thing that's been done to the car, you know, some other time. But obviously the biggest thing is the 2.8 row supercharger that we put on, right? And that with some other little bolt-ons and this and that. The car made, what did the car make? The car made 568 and 604 foot-pounds of torque. what is that? That's about 140 horsepower more, and 125 foot-pounds of torque. And to be honest, this dyno graph wasn't that smooth. You know, my air fuel was a little all over the place. So I didn't feel really comfortable pushing the car as it was tuned there. So I did some other modifications, including a fuel system, a different air intake system. Obviously we did the water meth system, and now I'm getting it professionally tuned on the dyno, not just an email tune for the modifications I have done to the car. So 568, you know, leave your guesses in the comments below. I'm looking for, 650 would be perfect. If I could make 650 to the tire, that's a little bit of a stretch. I'll make 6 1/4 and maybe around high 600, 700 foot-pounds of torque. But let me tell you about this thing, man. Because of the displacement of the engine and how the row supercharger works, I mean, we're making all this power at the bottom end, you know. We're making all this power at 1500 RPMs. You know, it's just a straight line. There's your 600 horsepower. It's not this linear graph that you're going to get from a turbo car or something like that. And because of that, obviously there's a potential, I guess, to roast some tires and this, you know, whatnot. But it's a lot more fun on the street, you know. I remember I rode in a twin turbo Viper, I don't know, a couple of years ago, and I'll never forget, you know, we're just cruising on the street, and you know, you got to look ahead of you to see what's ahead of you. You know, like look at the next stoplight, but then you got to look at the next stoplight, and then you got to look at the next one, because that's, as soon as your car builds boost, I mean, that's how fast you're going. I got out of that, I'll be honest, I got out of that car literally shaking, like scary fast, you know. Awesome experience. And I have friends that have twin turbo Vipers, and I'm sure we'll get some video content of some of those coming up, you know, over the summer. But for what I wanted, I didn't want to go that route. The Row supercharger is proven. It's really good and reliable up to a certain amount of horsepower, and it's just a ton of fun on the street. You talk to anybody that's got one of these blowers on their car, it's like the most fun you can have with a street car. So we won't talk too much more. I just wanted to give a little bit of backstory on the car. Again, the car's getting dynoed on Friday, so again, we'll make in the 600s. Air fuel and everything should be good, and the car should be ready to go this summer. You know, I'm trying to hit the tracks. I'm trying to hit Cars and Coffee, some street racing in Canada. If I could get an invite to one of these YouTube call-outs, you know, that would be awesome. We've got a lot of cool stuff for the channel, so when I get the Viper, content is going to be coming. So a few days, we'll get the car back. We'll see how everything's running. You know, the dyno should be a cool video. And yeah, I look forward to making more content for you guys. Thanks for watching. Peace.